Well, hello there. Welcome to today's video. It is Wednesday. It's 12:30, so new class going on right now, which is why it's so freaking loud in here. The stereo's blasting. And let's see, I just wrapped up finally filming with Griff, and Griff is my partner. But we just finished filming an entire movement library for a 90-day program, which I have been wanting to make for like the past year. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to do this. I have an issue with executing and taking action because I just get overwhelmed with so many ideas. There's so much stuff that I want to share with people about movement and nutrition and training and all these things that I get overwhelmed with what to execute and do and focus on like one thing at a time. And so we attempted to do that with booty gains, which I'm sure you've noticed like totally fell off the face of the earth. I'm so sorry, but that is unfortunately failing your way to success, I guess. Like you start stuff, if it's not working out, you just have to pull the plug and you have to just move forward. And so with booty gains, we wanted it to be a 10-week program. We wanted it just to give exposure to people, to help like grow our YouTube channel and things like that, and just to introduce strength training and legit like booty building exercises for people, because there's just so much gimmicky friggin' smoke and mirror stuff out there. Anyhow, so we did, I think we made it through like 2 or 3 weeks, and then Hurricane Irma kind of came through Florida. Griff had to leave, he evacuated, we had to close the gym. And then for those 2 weeks, it was just like, timing was awful. And I know that's just an excuse, but we realized that we completely overpromised and underdelivered. And that sucks. So it's just a part of being a business owner a lot of the times. Like, you do stuff, you put it out there, you try it out, you experiment. If it doesn't work, you just gotta pull the plug and move on. So with that, I created a complete, like, total body, just fitness program. And people have been asking me about this stuff all the time, just over the years, like through my Instagram, through email, you know, family members, friends of mine that don't live here, that are out of state, people I've connected with really over the world. You know, do you have a program you recommend following, Nicole? Like, what are some programs I should look into? Do you have a program? Can you provide me with like remote training and programming to do? And I just could never give them a good answer. I didn't have anything developed for them. You know, of course I have all of our programs here, but they don't live here. So people are looking to do this on their own, whether it's in their garage gym or they have a gym membership to like a 24-hour access place or commercial gym, whatever. I think there's still a lot of fear associated with resistance training. And I think that a lot of people still kind of associate resistance training or like barbells with some extreme sport. Like a lot of people think that in order to do barbell training and it benefit them, that it has to be for a sport. So like an iron sport, like Olympic weightlifting, or, you know, the competitive side of CrossFit or powerlifting, you know, something like that. Or I think a lot of people also associate resistance training, lifting weights, with like bodybuilding, like very strategically lifting weights in a way and eating in a way and having a lifestyle that supports like growing as big as possible and developing a lot of muscle mass. And that's kind of a conversation for another day. That is that will not happen by accident. You will not accidentally get big or massive, especially as a female. We do not have the testosterone for that. You have to eat very specifically for that. You have to train with the intent of that type of growth. But I want more women to become comfortable and knowledgeable about strength training, and I just want them to understand like what it can do for their bodies and what it can do for their minds, and the confidence that they could build, you know, about themselves, and just doing the basics. Like everyone should have squatting and deadlifting and pressing and pulling in their routine. So I have created a basic to intermediate 90-day 12-week program that has everything you could possibly need. You don't need to add anything extra. You don't need to do extra cardio. You don't need to do extra this. It's all there, and it's progressive, and you have programming for 12 weeks. So I'm super stoked about that. We filmed all of the movements. There were 50 movements involved, so we just cranked them out today. We're gonna have this huge video library of all the movements involved. I need to eat before I work out, so I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll show you guys my training for the day, and then I don't know, we'll talk about something else, because I had something else I want to share with you guys. I don't remember. I have a really bad time like remembering like short-term stuff. It's totally mommy brain, which I didn't think was a real thing until I actually had a kid. And literally mid-sentence, I'll like just forget my words. Just mid-sentence. Like I'll know what I want to say, but just the word just leaves my brain, and just mid-sentence I'll be talking like I don't even have a vocabulary anymore. It's cool. It's fine. I sound like a total idiot. I'm not that dumb. All right, I'm gonna eat before I eat my pen.
It looks something like this.
Looking like it been dipped, dipping that, dipping that, dipping that. Script looking like it been flipped, flipping that, flipping that, flipping that. Pull up in that phone, my God, whole squad getting that, getting that. Please say it ain't true, I had to go and cop 2, hell no, we can't fit in that. Wild ones, like we fresh out the cage, showtime baby, fresh off the stage. Bad little mama, fresh off the page. Front like you love, but you know that you hate it. Yeah, you know no better, yeah, you know no better. Yeah, you know no better. Ooh.
Yeah, you know no better. Say you're different. Ooh, you're kidding. Yeah, you know no better. Ooh, say that talk for the ones who don't know no better. Cause baby, I know you better.
Baby, I know no better.
Baby, I know you better.
Baby, I know.
Baby, I know you better.
Top dropped off on my whip, whipping that, whipping that, whipping that. Yellow and the purple on mix, mixing that, mixing that, mixing that. Got my bitch from the tropics, yeah, you know where she sitting at. Taking shots, pouring bottle at the bottle at the bottle. Hell no, we ain't sipping that. Wild ones, like we fresh out the cage. Showtime baby, fresh off the stage. Bad little mama, fresh off the page. Front like you love, but you know that you hate it. Yeah, you know no better. Yeah, you know no better. Yeah, you know no better. Ooh.
Yeah, you know no better. Say you're different. Ooh, you're kidding. Yeah, you know no better. Ooh, say that talk for the ones who don't know no better. Cause baby, I know you better.
Baby, I know no better.
Baby, I know you better.
Baby, I know.
Baby, I know you better.
On the whip, dabba ranch on the chips. Ice cream gave her chills. Too much cash, pay the bills. I make a ride Mercedes. I can afford the latest. Baby, ignore the ratings. Just pull up, we pop out, we rage. You know no better. Stack my bread up. Don't get fed up. I ain't gon' let up. You told me to shut up, but I'ma do better. It's not my race. Get out my face. Drop my case. Which way?
Yeah, you know no better. Say you're different. Ooh, you're kidding. Yeah, you know no better. Ooh, say that talk for the ones who don't know no better. Cause baby, I know you better. Baby, I know you better. Baby, I know you better.
So I'm still a little sweaty, a little gross from working out, but I just looked at my Instagram and I saw someone recommend that they not take a whey supplement or like a protein shake right after the workout because it'll spike your insulin and it'll make you fat. So this trainer is basically saying if you have excess body fat, if you have weight to lose, you should not be drinking a post-workout protein shake because it'll spike your insulin, and insulin makes you fat. First of all, that is so like far-fetched and incorrect. I have to address this immediately. So insulin is a hormone that's secreted by the pancreas, okay? Now, I know I'm kind of talking scientific terms, please don't tune out, okay? I will simplify this as much as I can. But basically, it is a storage hormone. So insulin gets released by the pancreas either slowly throughout the day in very small amounts, or in bursts after you've eaten a meal to help shuttle nutrients to different parts of your body depending on what you just did and the type of food that you just ate. Insulin is not a bad thing. It regulates how we distribute a lot of our nutrients. So like type 1 diabetics, they don't secrete or produce any insulin, okay? If you don't treat type 1 diabetes, you will die. So insulin is important to us. However, where you get into trouble is when you're chronically elevating your insulin. And what happens is your body just kind of tunes that out over time. It doesn't respond well to it. It's like parents that have kids that are always screaming and nagging and misbehaving. They eventually just kind of tune it out, and to them, they don't even realize that they're doing that stuff anymore. They just start to ignore it, and that is a problem. So like I mentioned, insulin is a storage hormone. So depending on what you just did, the type of activity you did before eating that meal, that will dictate where and how those nutrients are stored. So if you just had a very tough resistance training session, okay, you're lifting weights, your muscles are taxed, your glycogen stores are depleted, when you then eat a meal full of carbohydrates or eat a meal that would spike your insulin, that process is going to go towards storage in majority of the muscle, okay? It's gonna shuttle amino acids and glucose, all the things that go into recovering from workouts, building up your tissues and things like that. However, if you continue to spike your insulin like that and eat a lot of carbohydrates and sugary foods throughout the day, when you have not done, you know, resistance training or something that's basically stimulating muscle growth, then it becomes more for fat storage instead of muscle storage. And this is where people start to run into metabolic disorders, eventually leading to type 2 diabetes. They chronically elevate their blood sugar levels, which elevates insulin. So what happens is you have elevated sugar in the blood, and so insulin gets secreted to help shuttle all those nutrients, and then it brings blood sugar levels down. So I just want to make it clear, there's nothing wrong with spiking your insulin. You just have to do it at the right time. So the best time to spike your insulin to have those higher carbohydrate starchy meals is post-resistance training. And I don't want to say just post-working out because some people classify exercise as like going on a walk or like a very light jog for 15 minutes. I'm talking about really, really challenging yourself with resistance training, with intervals, with HIIT training, to where you're depleting your energy stores, your muscles are tired, and the nutrients that you eat right after that will go towards kind of recovering from that exercise and that training. So if you're not exercising intensely, if you're not lifting weights, and if you have a desk job, if you sit down, if your big activity for the day is walking to and from your desk, there's no reason why you need to be drinking soda. There's no reason why you need to be drinking Gatorade. There's no reason why you need candy all day and why you have white bread and cereal for breakfast and then toast for your snack and then sugar and carbohydrates. Your body is not going to process it very well, okay? Unless you have a good amount of muscle on your frame and you're eating those carbohydrates after a heavy resistance training, that insulin spike will signal more fat storage than it will for muscle because the stimulus isn't there to grow muscle. So that's why everyone has their unique carb needs, right? It's based on your current body composition, how much muscle mass you have, how much body fat you have, and the type of activity that you do on a daily basis. Those are the two biggest factors that determine how many carbohydrates you should be having each day and really what types of carbohydrates you should be having when you do eat them. You always want to prioritize keeping insulin sensitivity high. So how do you do that? You do resistance training for an hour a day, 3, 5, 6 days a week. You work towards building muscle mass. So a lot of people, when they're on this quest of losing weight, they do things that chip away at their muscle mass. They jog and jog and jog and do excessive cardio, and they don't do any resistance training. They don't prioritize at least maintaining muscle, if not building more muscle. So we always want to work towards maintaining and building more muscle to make us more anabolic, to increase our metabolic rate, to make sure that we stay sensitive to insulin. You will stay a lot more sensitive to insulin if you don't have chronic elevated levels of insulin, right? So don't have a bunch of starchy carbs all throughout the day. If you're gonna eat the starch and the high sugary stuff like jasmine rice, like breads and pastas and sugary foods, those things are best eaten after a resistance training session. So sleep, right? There's like this huge cascade of things hormonally that happens when we sleep or do not sleep. So just by simply getting higher quality sleep, 7, 8, 9 hours of restful, you know, deep, all like throughout the sleep cycles, that'll really help you improve your insulin sensitivity as well. Well, I have to wrap up the day. I have to go coach class at 4:30. So yeah. Back squat was successful today. I hit 245 for 3. Super stoked about that. That was 90% or so of my 1 rep max from the other day. And I survived the workout. I can still do muscle ups. They looked kind of shitty, but I need to work on those. Those things are fatiguing me really easily now. And we learned a little bit about insulin today. So thank you guys for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please share with your friends who are confused about carbohydrates and insulin and you know, who think that low carb is the only way to go, or who go on crash diets and stuff like that. It's a misunderstanding of the body and food and how it, you know, how it works with your body. So I will, I guess, see you guys on the next one.